Thank you for watching another one of our videos where we are updating the information in the book that we published years ago, Your Guide to Amazon Suspensions. And I'm sitting here with Ashley DePinto, who is one of our most incredibly skilled and knowledgeable paralegals. And we're going to talk about updates to how to write about the root cause of whatever the issue is of your suspension. What to describe in your root cause in your plan of action. Now, Ashley, years ago, what consultants were telling sellers is to always admit to doing something wrong in their plan of action as a way of getting their account reinstated or listing reinstated without any idea that they were hurting sellers, that if they had to go to arbitration, they would lose because that admission would get used against them in 2 seconds. So why don't you talk to me about what you're doing right now when it comes to the verbiage for the root cause in plans of action?
So depending on what the issue is, we try to address it in the root cause. We never want to admit anything that the client never did. As CJ said, this can lead to further issues down the road. It is important to, identify the problem and why it happened, what you have done to correct it. But again, you don't want to admit to anything you didn't do.
Also, even if you did something wrong, we don't admit it right away.
Right.
Okay? Because again, if you made a mistake, there's just better ways of describing it. What you can do is write how you can do better and identify the root cause with more positive verbiage rather than diving on the sword,
Right.
which may now kill you since there are 5 million plus sellers out there.
Right.
The days of Amazon needing you as a seller have long since passed. They're the most diverse company on the planet. So there are certain times, though, when we will admit that a seller did something inappropriate, right?
Right.
Okay. At what point in time do you often recommend to a seller that you say, hey, the plan of action is not being successful, we've escalated it? What point in time do you say, okay, now it's time to sort of admit to doing something, either against terms of service or slightly violating the rules on listings or something else?
So generally, if we've already done about 2 or 3 appeals and Amazon continues to request additional information, greater detail on the root cause, we'll try to figure out something else that we're missing in the case. And generally, the client will come to us and say, unfortunately, I actually did do this, I didn't tell you earlier, or something along those lines, and we're able to implement that into the root cause.
So, one, if you're hiring us to write your plan of action, it makes our job of getting you back online a whole lot easier if you give us all the information all at once. Although we do realize that often it's just not at the tip of your tongue what was going on, 2, 3, 4 weeks ago or months ago.
Right.
Number two, we'll only get to that point of possibly admitting some violation if we're striking out, okay? And again, this is done in coordination with the seller because you need to know the risks of admitting to something, okay?
Right.
And the third category I would like to add to it is if you are 100% certain that Amazon has caught you doing something 1,000% wrong,
Right.
then we might admit to it earlier in the game. But generally, we try and phrase everything positively to preserve those additional steps to get your account, your listing reinstated. So Ashley had about 36 seconds notice before we shot this video, and this video, I hope to have a link in the new book. If you'd like a copy of the current version of the book, just email me, cj@amazonsellerslawyer.com. We used to sell them, now we just give them away. And if you want to be on a list for the newest edition of Your Guide to Amazon Suspensions, also shoot me an email. We'll put you on the list, so as soon as the version is ready to go out the door, you'll get emailed a copy of it. Ashley, thank you very much for updating sellers around the world.
Thank you.
Sellers, keep on selling, and we're going to keep providing information to you to avoid needing us to help you with your suspensions. And if you do need us, we're of course here for you.